Are we just supposed to like ignore this thing? It does feel very much in your face, doesn't it?
Step away and bend.
Step away?
Yeah.
I can't
and
see
like
my
bend it a little. Oh, yeah.
riddle with
Feel free to
problems.
move things.
That's why I
wherever you
write
need to.
poems. So
Whatever's best for you.
okay.
You can move things
All
over.
right. Move that a little. Okay, that's good. That's
Better?
That's better.
Right on.
So thanks, Brian,
Of
for
course.
your tolerance, and all of you for your patience and love of poetry, if you do love it. So I'll read a little bit from this book that is actually another long poem, like Nate just read. Not exactly like what he just read, that'd be weird, but it's a different book, but it's still one long poem. No wonder he liked it. It's called We Lack in Equipment and Control. So the poems don't have individual titles, and it is a breakup book, which we all secretly kind of love, I hope. I had this professor once who actually took a poll of the class, and it sticks with me. He asked, how many of you have never broken anyone's heart, and no one raised their hand? And how many of you have never had your heart broken, and no one raised their hand? You know that, but it's stunning to see it in action. Okay. A great snowstorm, and maybe you will not apologize for the details you use in order to sponsor your other details. Snow, a giant detail I want to point out, but there's now no one living with me. How fast each morning alarm, although I'm faster. It could be snow in the street lamp glow or summer insect madness. I can't judge period of year because I've reached this conclusion. We're aglow from our recesses, not outside. Whiteout redevelops, not unforeseen. Even the plows are off the roads. This snow makes the books. Toilet paper and flashlights make the books. The grown man is without exception more comfortable with interactions on the left side of his body. It's not data but a song. Think the world has ended, not sure. Suggestion, we reposition ourselves in more genial industries. Turns out getting rid of things in a moral fashion is harder than we thought. I had the room darkened in order to tell your temperature by hue, by the cover you're not hiding. I hope to see you on the beach at the next ship breaking, not like breaking a green horse, which just gets tired and then kind. The cartouche you gave me doesn't anymore represent my name. It wore into a small arms powder which I will corrupt when most called for. Do you love your horse but are scared? I have found you can attempt to measure in days of training, but you can never know how many before you tried the basics, using hands to stroke back, neck, head. In passing behind a horse, angel, or boat on the cusp of ruin, touch your body to its. When bodies compare thusly, there's no length a strike has to go before landing. Seems more dangerous to be right up against, but it's actually safer, dizzyingly so. And that's a true thing if you know anything about horses. If you ever find yourself wanting or needing to move around one and you're very nervous about it, you should just get really close to it, because then when it kicks, you're right there and it can't do much damage. But if you're kind of like a little farther away, you can. Didn't know you'd learned something useful tonight. Spring has one thing to offer, a breach that husks us. The world's first rhyme will someday come back around, governed by the unimpeachable, by such mad and marvelous graces as the whitest wave. and even more so. Should this assumption prove consistent, what serendipity? If not, looting and banditry, hidden expenses, sabotage of savings, you ought to roll up the tarmac, get a territory. February accelerates in dog years, its distances light years. You ought to hold me at arm's length for the administration. You ought to ask if I was one of the storm's thousands powerless. When we met, your reflex was to flood the village, create a dam for power. We were made jealous of the bell tower, the only sound above water. You ought to be told that drought uncovered the village, even while snow invested in its squall, unheard of environment. Canceled ground doesn't budge now, healthy. From here on out, I customize the uncovered mouth. This is where men work around me at my request, where men trade evacuation maps for provocation itineraries. This is where men expose the top 10 fields, losing people fast. Since their perimeters touch except the outermost, it's really one field, losing people. I'm still working on being able to breathe while I read. I don't know if anyone else has this problem. I'm like about to pass out. Is there a nurse here?